Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're kind of wrestling with physics, really. The challenge is, how do you shove a massive 18 gigabit per second video signal over a crazy long distance with just one CIT cable? So our mission today is to take a deep dive into the Blustream HEX100CS-KIT and see how it, cheats those technical limits.
It's the classic installer's dilemma, isn't it? And this kit it nails the solution. You're sending high-quality video and audio over that single cable, and the numbers alone are pretty impressive. For, let's say, standard 1080p content, you're good for up to 100 meters.
100 meters is great, but the real battleground is that premium content, right? That super bandwidth-hungry 4K at 60 hertz.
Yeah.
4.4.4 UHD. How far can this kit reliably push that 18 gig stream?
It manages a stable 70 meters, and what's so fascinating is that getting that kind of signal that far is, well, it's nearly impossible over standard copper without some serious engineering.
So what's the engineering help here?
It comes from two things. Advanced HDBaseT technology, which we know, but it's combined with something called color space conversion, CSC.
Okay, hang on. We hear CSC thrown around a lot with these extenders. Why is messing with the color data the secret sauce?
That's the real deep dive. I mean, think of 18 GBPs like a superhighway that's just a little too narrow for all the traffic. CSC basically repackages that data just for the trip. It takes that full, rich 4.4.4 color and it compresses the color part down to 4.2.0.
That's for the journey across the wire.
Exactly. The moment it hits the receiver, it's unpacked perfectly. You still get the full 18 GBPs quality or HDR, everything, but the path itself becomes reliable.
That makes perfect sense.
Okay.
So, if we can deliver that high-fidelity signal, let's talk real-world flexibility. Not every display out there is brand new. What happens when I have, say, a brand new 4K screen and an older 1080p screen in the same system?
And that's where it gets really clever. This kit avoids that classic problem of, black screens or handshake failures. The receiver output has video down conversion built right in.
Okay.
So if your remote display can only handle 1080p or maybe a lower spec 4K, the receiver just feeds it a signal it can understand. The display gets a picture.
So you're saying the little 1080p screen doesn't drag the whole system down to its level?
Precisely. Because the transmitter has an HDMI Loop Out, that output always maintains the original maximum 4K resolution. Perfect for your main monitor or even for cascading to another high-end device. You get the best quality where it actually counts.
That's efficient. Okay, so moving beyond video, installs are always complicated by power and control. I see bi-directional PoH here. What's the big win for us on site?
The win is simplicity. Power over HDBaseT, or PoH, means you only need to plug in a power supply at one end.
Either end.
Either end, transmitter or receiver. It's a lifesaver if you're trying to hide the receiver in a ceiling or a wall box where you just don't have a power outlet. Plus, you get full bi-directional IR and RS-232 pass-through. So that's video, audio, power, and two different control signals, all down one cable.
That is a clean install. Let's zoom in on that receiver, the RX unit, for a second. The ports on it, particularly for audio, seem to add a lot of value.
Oh, absolutely. The receiver has simultaneous HDMI audio breakout. So you get a coaxial digital output, an SPDIF, and you get analog stereo from two RCA jacks.
At the same time.
At the same time. This means you can strip that audio right off the HDMI signal and feed it directly into an older amplifier or a separate zone audio system that can't handle a complex digital signal. It gives you options.
And just to check, for those running the latest gear, it does handle all the big digital formats. Dolby True HD, Atmos, DTS HD Master Audio, that whole suite.
Yep, it handles those heavy hitters without a problem.
Okay.
And of course, you get full HDCP 2.2 compliance and advanced EDI management. No copyright headaches.
So really, when you step back, what this all means for you, the installer, is an all-in-one box for these complex long-distance jobs. You're getting power, robust control, and incredibly high-fidelity video pushed further than you'd normally expect, and it's all backed by a pretty solid 5-year warranty.
It's about professional-grade confidence, It just works. And here's a final thought for you to mull over. We're so used to running separate cables for control, for audio, for everything. So how does the ability to embed all of those critical signals power, RS-232, IR, even analog audio, into that single CT cable fundamentally change how you design a smart room or a home theater from the very beginning?